In this course, we're going to set up a persona and see how we can leverage the persona while chatting with AI. In Msty Studio, to add a new persona, just click on the persona icon in the left navigation. And since I don't have any existing personas, it's going to ask me to create my very first one. And before I get into creating the first persona, let's answer the question, well, what is a persona? What is it used for? A persona is a good way for you to have a prompt for different types of personas or different types of characteristics that you want to get out of your AI agent. So let's say for this new persona, maybe I want to create one that is a comedian assistant for me. But you could also create one that is let's say, a math tutor or a summarizer or a code rewriter or a code reviewer, all these different types of personas. And essentially what we're doing is we're giving our AI assistant a particular task, and we're going to set that up as a prompt. And we want them to be an expert in this thing that we're having them do. That way, when they provide us a response, they're doing it in the guidance of this persona, the system prompt that we're creating. All right, so I mentioned I wanted to create a comedy assistant. I want someone that's going to tell me jokes. So let's create a persona for that. Let's call this persona the comedian. And the really important part is the system prompt, what we prompt them to do. You may see these with a lot of prompts where we're saying you are an expert at something. And we're going to say you are an expert comedian. And what do I want this comedian persona to do is I want them to basically, I want them to come back with a joke about whatever the subject is. I want you to scan and understand the context of the conversation. And let's have it paraphrase everything as a pun and a one-liner. And hopefully that will be enough for our prompt. And then you could add a description that is optional. And at the bottom here, we see different add-ons. So add-ons will just empower the persona even further. You could add attachments to give it additional context. You can enable real-time data, so it could search the web and, I don't know, maybe get the freshest jokes that are out there. You can assign tools, which is Studio's implementation of MCP. So this is, again, just going to give it more power. You could tie it to data sources, maybe even a joke library to enhance the jokes. You could add a context shield, and you could select a specific model that this persona should use, as well as set up some few-shot prompts, which basically can get the conversation going. One other thing to mention real quick before I save this out is you could also set the mode. So when is it going to apply this prompt? Is it going to append it to the conversation, prepend it, or is it just going to replace the system prompt? And we'll just keep it as appended. And let's save this out. And we can see our first persona up here. Again, you can create as many personas as you'd like. And let's see how it plays in a conversation. So I'm going to X out of this. And then in the chat window down here, you could either click on @ and then select that persona, or just simply type in @ and then that modal is going to show up as well. And we'll click on comedian. Okay, so what is the subject of the joke that we want? Let's ask our model about the weather in California. How is the weather in California? And let's see what kind of puns it provides. Well, I hear it's been sunderful in California lately, but don't worry, they also have some fogging issues. All right, maybe one more joke real quick. What is Mars made out of? And let's see what we get. Mars is basically a big rock with a red hot personality. It's all about the iron oxide, giving it that rusty complexion. And there it is. There's our comedian persona. Again, you could create a persona for any subject matter. If you need one for tutoring, like a history tutor or a math tutor, or if you want a coding assistant, really, this is just an easy way to add a persona into the conversation to help you get the types of responses that you are really looking for from the model that you have selected.